Okay, so here we have page number 6, okay, which is the 5th page of questions from the February-March paper of 2019, paper 2, IGCSE. And here we have a question about angles in circles. It says A, B, and C are all points on the circle which has a center O. A, B, and OC intersect at P. Find the value of W. Okay, now, the mistake that many people would make is they would say, W and 21 are the same. And that's not true, okay, because they're not standing on an arc of the circle, because W is standing with one part of it on the center, the other part of it on the circumference, as is A. So they're not both standing on the circumference of the circle, okay? So therefore they can't be the same size. They have to be standing on an arc of the circle. These are not standing on an arc of the circle. So therefore that would be, I'd say, a common error, that people would recognize this type of shape and think, they're standing on the same, they're standing on the same 2 points, but those 2 points must be points on the circumference. So that's not a way to go about it. But what we can say is the angle AOC stands on AC, okay, as does, let me just make this a bit thinner, okay, as does the angle ABC. That also stands on the arc AC. However, ABC, it's formed on the circumference, and AOC is formed at the center. The angle at the center is always twice the angle at the circumference. So this angle here must be 52. So I'll write it over here, 52 degrees. Okay, so angle ABC is equal to a half of angle AOC. Okay, so you can say that's equal to a half times 104, which is 52 degrees. Okay, and you can say angles at the center, something like that, in the circle, that's fine. Angles at the center are twice angles at the circumference if they're standing on the same arc in the same segment. Okay, so that's the value of this angle here, but that's not W. We've been asked to find W. Okay, now to find W, what we can do is, what comes to my mind is we could find what this angle is. This angle here is going to be 180 minus the sum of these two angles. 180 minus 21 plus 104, which gives you 180 minus, that's 125, okay, which is going to be 180 minus 125, that's going to be 55 degrees. 55 plus 25 is 80. Right. That's right. Okay, so that's 55 degrees over here. Now, this angle and this angle are equal because they're vertically opposite. OC and AB are straight lines that intersect, and they form a pair of vertically opposite angles. So these two angles, this angle is 55. So therefore, we got these three angles forming this circle, forming this triangle PBC. Now the triangle PBC, we can say the angle that we're trying to find, W, is equal to 180 minus the sum of the other two angles, which is 52, plus 55. Okay, so W is equal to 180 minus 107, okay, which is going to be 73 degrees. So W is 73 degrees. 73 degrees. Okay, that's the answer to question number 15. And question number 16 is asking us to find or to estimate the gradient of this curve by drawing a suitable tangent. Okay, so we don't have any equation of the curve for us to be able to check anything afterwards, but we have to draw a tangent. Now, to draw a tangent, what you need to do, I'll show you what you need to do. I'm going to do it in a slightly different way. I've got these tools here to cheat with, but you need to take a ruler. Okay, the ruler, I think it goes up there when I first, yep, there it is. Take that ruler down to where we want it. Okay, you need to get your ruler, and you need to put it such that, can I rotate it? Yeah. Such that it touches the curve at the point P. Now that doesn't touch the curve at the point P. It touches the curve about here. We want to rotate it a bit more. Okay, rotate it a bit more so that it's just touching at P. It's still touching slightly below P. Still touching slightly below P. Needs a slight more adjustment. I think that is good. That's a bit better. Okay, try and be as accurate as you can. Alright, they don't expect perfection, but something like that seems fine to me. That's just touching at P, and what you do is you draw a long line, thin, long line, okay, make sure it's thin, and make sure it takes up all the space of the axis. Okay, so you use your ruler to draw a long, thin line, so it should touch the curve. Okay, that went a bit up. Okay, let me do it again. So I'm just going to make a long, thin line that takes up the whole space of the axis and just touches the curve without passing through it. Okay, so that is a pretty decent tangent, and what we can do is choose 2 points on this line and find the gradient of this line. The gradient of this line will be the gradient of the curve at this point. You see, the gradient of the curve changes constantly, and we're trying to find the gradient at the point P where x equals 2. So we make it a tangent at that point, and we choose 2 points on the line. Okay, so everyone's points won't be the same. Everyone's tangent won't be the same. It's very difficult to do this perfectly, but you just do your best. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose 2 points where it passes through exactly through some points that I can see very clearly. Okay, so for example, I think this is pretty clear. It passes through this point, which is 1.5, 1.6, 7, 8, 9. So that's 1.9 on the y-axis and 0 on the x-axis. And I find another point. You could use 2, 1 if you want to, but I like to use other points. So this is 3.5 on the x, and this is 0.123 on the y. Okay, so the gradient of this curve, therefore, get the ruler out of the way, is going to be given by the gradient is the change in y over the change in x. So you can say 1.9 minus 0.3 over the change in x, which is 0, minus 3.5, and let's see what that gives us. We have 1.9, do it this way, 1.9 minus 0.3 over 0 minus 3.5, and that gives us minus 0.57, minus 0.457, sorry, minus 0.457, so minus 0.4571. Now we can see this has got a negative gradient, so it looks like it's correct. So you try and be as accurate as you can. Not everyone's tangent will be the same. It's very difficult to do tangents perfectly. So there we have questions number 15 and 16, and the next 2 questions will be on the next video. Thank you.